Does soy sauce make your desserts better? I recently saw this post on Reddit saying that they swapped the salt in their cookies for soy sauce and it made the cookies taste better. And there were people in the comment section saying that it works for other baked goods too. So today I'm gonna put it to the test. Okay, so normally when I do these kind of tests, I do them behind the scenes, and then the recipes that you see on my channel are the result of all that testing. But today I thought, why not bring you guys along with me and we can have some fun testing together. If you know my recipes, you might know that I sometimes like to add unconventional ingredients to my recipes. I've definitely been roasted in the comments for adding a little bit of pineapple to my lentil loaf or a little bit of nutritional yeast to my vanilla pudding. And from what I can tell, the people in the comments didn't actually try it and didn't want to, but that's okay. But my experience is that when you have something that's sweet or something that's salty, if you add just a little teeny bit of the opposite, it goes a long way in creating a rich, complex flavor. So in theory, I feel like this soy sauce could work. It's more than just salty flavor, it has some umami in there as well. So my plan is to test 3 of my own recipes, and I'm gonna make one version the original way with salt, and I'm gonna make the other version with soy sauce instead. So the Reddit post that I saw said that it worked well, specifically in chocolate chip cookies. They like how it enhanced the flavor of the cookies and the chocolate as well. I'm not gonna test chocolate chip cookies, but I'm still gonna test cookies. The cookies I'm testing are my ginger cookies. Now, these already have a pretty intense flavor with the ginger and the molasses, and I suspect that adding the soy sauce might be a little bit too much, but let's see what happens. Next, I'm going to test my chocolate fudge. This recipe is almost entirely chocolate, so this should give us an idea of whether it is a good match with chocolate or not. And finally, I am going to test something much lighter in flavor, which is my blueberry muffins. I know when I developed this recipe, I went through so many iterations of the batter, just trying to get a richer flavor. And I love my current recipe, but let's see if soy sauce can do something that salt can't in this recipe. Since I just finished shooting my ginger cookies and my fudge recipe, I already have the control version prepared to taste, so I'm just gonna need to make the version with soy sauce. And those recipes will be coming out very soon, so keep an eye out for them if you're interested. And with the muffins, I don't have those prepared, so I'm just gonna have to make them both ways. So for all of these recipes, I am actually just making a half batch, but I'm gonna give you the measurement for the full batch, just so that's clear. Okay, so starting off with the ginger cookies, these call for half a teaspoon of salt, and I'm gonna replace that with 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. Because there's more liquid in this, when I mixed it up, I noticed that the batter was a little bit soft. So I did bake this on 2 separate trays, and one tray got chilled for 25 minutes and the other went straight into the oven. Next, with my vegan fudge, this calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of soy sauce instead. But instead of mixing it in where I normally mix in the salt in the beginning of the fudge recipe, I'm going to wait until I turn off the heat and add the soy sauce together with the vanilla and chocolate chips. And finally, my blueberry muffins call for the most salt at 1 teaspoon. Because there is so much salt to replace in this, I am actually gonna do 2 test batches with this. I'm gonna do one where I replace half the salt with soy sauce and another one where I replace all of the salt with soy sauce. So for the complete swap, obviously I'm gonna skip the salt and I'll add 4 teaspoons of soy sauce instead. But because I don't want my batter to get too runny, I am going to reduce the non-dairy milk by a tablespoon. In the other test batch, I'm just gonna use half a teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. And that'll show us what will happen if we do half and half. To keep this all straight, I've got color-coded liners here so I know which one is which. All right, so all my recipes are ready to test. I have not tasted these yet. So let's see whether soy sauce is better than salt in any of these recipes. All right, so we're gonna go with the ginger cookies first. As I mentioned, I did actually 2 trays of these, one where I chilled it and one where I did not. And visibly, there's not much difference. This one might just be, the one that was chilled might just be slightly thicker, but this one feels, the one that was not chilled feels a little bit firmer. Other than that, so far they look pretty similar. But we will taste them and see what happens. All right, I'm gonna start with the control batch. Although I already know how it tastes, so. All right, well this one we know has lots of flavor. Let's hope that these other cookies with the soy sauce don't overpower it. I'm gonna start with the ones that were chilled. So the texture is pretty much the same, and honestly, if you didn't tell me that you had put soy sauce in these cookies, I wouldn't know. It tastes almost the same, only at the end I can kind of get a little bit of the notes of the soy sauce. It's definitely not overpowering, and it's not bad, but I also wouldn't say it's an improvement. If you're out of salt and you want to use soy sauce, I think this is a totally fine substitute. No one's actually gonna know the difference. And this is the one that was not chilled. Yeah, it feels a little bit firmer. Let's see. Yeah, so the difference here is this one has gotten a little bit crunchy on the edges. So if you want a soft cookie and you want to use soy sauce in your cookie, I would chill your dough on the tray for 25 minutes before you put it in the oven. All right, so round 1 ginger cookies, I'm gonna call salt the winner on this one, only because I couldn't really taste the difference and I don't see much of an advantage to using the soy sauce instead of salt. All right, so my blueberry muffins, I've got 3 contenders here. This is the original recipe. This one is half soy and half salt. And this one, we replace all the salt with soy sauce. One thing I will say right off the bat that I like about the soy sauce one is the color of it. This one is much lighter, as you can tell, but let's see if that extends to the flavor. All right, we're starting with the control just to get the taste. All right, let's see how the half soy sauce does. I can't tell if that's the flavor from the muffin or I just got a sour blueberry, so let me try a different spot here. Oh, I think it's the muffin. Yeah, I don't think... All right, let me confirm, because if it's the soy sauce that's giving it this taste, then this one should be worse. That's odd. I got a bite here with almost no blueberry, and I'm not getting the same taste. Let me try again. Yeah, it's okay. I think I still prefer the one with salt. Let me just try this one again, because I'm not sure what's happening here. Yeah, it's okay. So in this case, I don't think the soy sauce is necessarily bad. I just feel like the original tastes better. Maybe I'm biased because it's my recipe and I like it. But yeah, the soy sauce isn't adding what I thought it would add in these muffins. Okay, well, we've got one last recipe to judge. Let's see how it does with chocolate. Okay, so for our final test, we've got the original fudge and the soy sauce fudge. I can already tell this one is softer, which might just be the extra liquid in there. But let's see how they taste. Of course, again, this is my recipe. I love it. Let's see how this one that's melting in my hand is, if it tastes any better, because the texture we could probably fix if the taste is worth it. Okay. Interesting. I do really taste the umami in this one. And you can see the difference in the texture. I don't know if you can see this here, but this one is very, very soft, and this one is nice and firm. And I might need to wash my hands. Hold on. Okay, so I think we might have found the sweet spot for this soy sauce in baking. This tastes very unique. It has, you can definitely taste the umami in it. And I would say that really depends on whether that's your thing or not. This really gives like dark chocolate. The original is sweeter. This is just like, you know, leaning more into the bitterness of the chocolate, and honestly, I really like it. I would probably still make the original, but this is kind of like, honestly, it's its own thing. So I'll give the point to the soy sauce for this one because it is it's kind of delicious. The only thing I would do is, you know, try to adjust the liquids in here somehow, reduce it a little bit to compensate for the soy sauce. But other than that, you know, it's a unique take on fudge, and it's actually pretty good. So yeah, 1 point for soy sauce. So it seems like this soy sauce thing works pretty well with chocolate. I don't know how far we could take it. I don't know if it will work with ice cream or cake or brownies or whatever. If you do want to see more tests, let me know. And also, if you want to see me test any other unconventional ingredients, you can leave me a comment and I might just try them out. I really try to stay off of like TikTok and all the social media, so it's rare that I find out that somebody's talking about anything. So you guys will have to let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.